Oh, hey everybody, what's going on? Well, as you can see, I once again pulled it off. I found some paracord in a dumpster behind the military depot. Now I need to unravel all this and span it up. I guess I'm going to do 50-foot cordage or 100-foot, and then maybe some 50 foots. So I need to figure out exactly how much I'm dealing with here. That's 6, 4, 6. Okay, so a foot basically on me is, yeah, right there, partial to the elbow. Damn, my compass came in handy for something, didn't it? Oh yeah, this compass actually flips right here too. It's cool. It's got millimeters and inches on the other side. So we're going to use this to measure off some paracord. Right there is pretty much 12 inches. Let's see. Yeah. So for all you people who say you got a 12-inch, you know what? Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, so that's what we're going to measure this off with. I'm trying to unravel this. It was a mess. That's probably why they threw it in the dumpster. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's about 50 foot right there. So I figured, like I said, I'd just break this down into hanks, maybe a 50 to 100 feet. That's a 50-footer. So as you can tell, it's a, yeah, they threw it in the dumpster because, well, I can tell that's your military for you. That's what's going on. Waste. The only reason why I'm doing this because originally I went to get some pacing beads, and I wanted to change this up a little bit. This compass, remember the compass? And we got from the Missouri Lottery Points for Prizes program, and about a $50 compass. I don't know why, but I don't like the setup, and I don't like it's blue. I'll probably end up trying to put something on here or coat that or cover it. But I want to change the cord up and put some pacing beads on here and some other things, and maybe a lantern, so I can hang it around my neck with pacing beads. So that would actually benefit us for what we got to do. But that should be about 50 foot. And then whatever this is, I don't know how big the spool was. It wasn't listed. So I'll just mark this right here. I need to get a knife. Ugh. I was trying to, you know, doctor up my Spiegel compass, remember? I've been doing a lot of studying on proper etiquette for using these, and I used them before. There's some other stuff on here I'm not really familiar with, so it might come in handy for, you know, search and rescue or pinpointing things, or, you know, especially when you're trying to locate stuff, or maybe I want to hide something and I want to find it. Or maybe I have a topographical map or a survey or something I need to step off. You know, kind of get a second opinion on something, because a lot of the surveys done around here are recent, and some of those folks did not allocate for inclination, or the fact that the poles have shifted a little bit since they did the original early 1800, late 1700 surveys. So when they do the surveys right now, some of the property lines are off. So they didn't really think about that, I don't think. In my opinion, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Property boundary disputes are they're argumentative to the fact that they didn't understand it. The poles have shifted? Okay. So that'll throw your property boundaries off if you used a compass to survey your property originally. A lot of times people just stepped it off near, you know, water markings or places of importance. 3. Yeah, I can kind of see why they didn't want to jack with this. Yeah, this looks like it might be a little bit of a mess. But, yeah, I thought I'd discuss about, you know, being wasteful with actually, you know, good materials that you can use for, well, domestic protection. And, there's been a couple other things on my mind about, well, for some reason something hit me this morning. I was like, well, am I on a vacation? Am I in the middle of an evacuation? Or am I doing something called evasion from hostile forces? So that kind of hit me this morning too. I was like, well, because most people say, well, I'm on vacation. I was like, yeah, and when I ask them why, they're like, well, I couldn't handle the city anymore. Dude, you're evading hostile forces. If you're leaving the city because you can't handle it no more, it's too crowded or too violent or too competitive, or maybe it's a natural disaster or something, but anyway, like I said, I received this from the dumpster, the Army Depot place, posing as a military depot place. They're really not. They're just a bunch of con artists, in my opinion. You've already paid for this gear, and I'm going to let the public know that you've already paid for this gear. And so what they're doing is they're gambling over it, and then they're going to sell it back to you, the public, you know, at whatever interest rate they have, because, well, they're a bunch of morons. But you've already paid for this gear, okay? I want to let you know that, and I'm not ashamed to tell anybody that you know what, we paid for this. We actually, some of us even manufactured this, worked in a job, you know, where we made this stuff. And what benefit am I getting if I can't even get any of it back? I don't get any of this stuff. Every time I go down and ask them for something, they're like, oh, screw you. I was like, well, I thought we were in a free country. And they went, no. I said, then you guys are a bunch of frauds. So anyhow, I have the luxurious job of digging back through a lot of their gear they throw away, trying to straighten it up, you know, and make it functional. Because, you know, we need some of this stuff. I do. I don't know about you guys. Really more inclined to a tufting cord, which is kind of like tarred bank line, but not really. It doesn't have the tar on it, but it's for, you know, sewing and things like that. This stuff right here comes in handy for things, you know, just as well, but it's not as useful an item as the other ones. I mean, yeah, it's good for certain things, but when I use it for ridge line, I have a problem with wicking, which is when it rains and it drips down the side on top of me, which is probably better than what I was getting dripped on in the first place. Yeah, I'm probably doing more damage than good. I think what I'll do is I'll just hank it all up in my hand, and we'll just play hide and go seek here. Yeah, but I'm sure this is a pretty good amount of paracord, and a 50-foot hank, I believe, is about $9 as far as the civilian going rate is. Okay, so, but I hated to see it, you know, just being thrown away and not used correctly. I mean, at least, you know, try to unravel it and, you know, distribute it to people who might need it. You know, you got first responders, ministers, people traveling. Somebody might want to make some gear out of this. You know, you can make things out of this. Belts. You know, lanyards. Carrying straps. Comes in useful. I seen the belt they make out of this. I was like, hey, yeah, that's cool. In case, you know, need some cordage and you ain't gonna have none, you use your belt. I'm gonna make backpack straps out of it. Probably. Let's see. Alright, we're getting there. But anyway, yeah, I thought I'd just record this, you know, because I think it's wasteful that the, you know, good people of this country get hit up hand over fist about, you know, paying their taxes, and they're all griping about the war and things, and so it kind of dawned on me. I was like, well, wait a minute. Who's really behind all that stuff? I mean, it's like the guys that make money off of it? Because, you know, if you're defending your home, it doesn't really matter if I get paid or not. I'm defending my family because I care about them. But I don't think that's what's going on. I actually think it's probably the merchants. All these military depot people who are like, you know, well, they don't want to see it end because the value of the material is not good anymore. It's like, they don't want to come home and do domestic services either. Most of those guys don't even want to come home. They can't even handle it when they're at home. When I was in school, a lot of the guys wanted, and women too, wanted to join the service because, well, they were eyeballing the benefits because that's what the recruiters were pushing. And I thought that was wrong. So, if we're in a, you know, situation where we have to defend ourselves or serve the country, you know, in a, well, an emergency type situation, you know, like natural disasters and stuff, I don't think it should be limited to, you know, I don't think they should be pushing the paycheck situation. I think it's wrong. But, you know, who am I, right? I'm a guy that believes in a free country. Everybody else just wants to get a paycheck. Based on a bronze treasury note. That's... And then they want to bitch about gold. I was like, well, that's because you're using a bronze treasury note. Okay, so here we are. We still got some left here. Spaghetti incident from hell. Well, I don't know how many feet that is, so let's see if we can get another 50-foot hank out of that. I figured I'd lay them all out in 50s. I do want 100-foot, though. One good spool 100. Because, you know, an average ridgeline, I believe, is, you know, the span of trees. Well, and plus it depends on the project, too. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's a 50. Okay, so now we got 2 50s out of this so far. And I already gave a 50-foot hank to somebody in town. Old Roy. He said he was going to give me my pedals for my bike, which he just keeps blowing smoke up my ass. You ever met anybody like that? They keep saying, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And here it is 3 weeks later. I'm like, dude, I done told the guy. I was like, hey, man. Fuck off. Excuse my German. I don't think German's allowed in England. Or in English. Okay, so... Or whatever that language is. Okay, so we had 2 50-foot hanks so far. There we go. Like I said, that was average price. I believe Hobby Lobby is the best place I found for cordage. Other than the fact I can't not find tarred bank line to save my life. Nowhere. No real official tarred bank line. Can't find it. I can't even find tufting cord, which is upholstery grade sewing all cordage, usually used in upholstery. So you have to order that stuff special. So if you guys are out there trying to put together your gear, you know, like most men and women that are responsible should have, you know, basic domestic, you know, gear, some basic tools, basic cordage. And if you have to purchase these items, like I said, I usually opt out on the purchasing thing. I just use my brain. I go and dig for it where people throw things away. And of course it paid off. See here? So far I have several hundred feet of paracord, which is probably, in my opinion, is probably not the best thing for what I need to do, because I like to do a lot of stitching and making my gear. This stuff doesn't come in handy for certain things, but I haven't used it as much as I thought I would. See, here we go with that again. Okay, so we're back at the spool. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we'll get all this mess out of the way. And what I'll probably do is just unroll all this. This seems to be the smarter way to do it. Because I'm not going to carry a spool around. I'll probably even give some of these to my friends, trade them. Hey, you know, you guys out there in YouTube land watching, you want a hank of paracord or something, hey, holler at me. Probably get you a good deal. Probably just send it to you just because I have extra. You know, like I said, I find this stuff all over the place. But if you're going to go purchase various kinds of paracord and accessories, Hobby Lobby's got some pretty good deals, and they seem very, very fair. I think it's $8.99 for a, what was it, 50-foot hank? I don't know. It seems some, and they come in other colors too, which is pretty cool. Like, you know, emergency type colors, like, you know, orange, so you can see it in the dark. They even had glow-in-the-dark paracord. I didn't think it actually glowed in the dark. I tried it, and it just didn't seem like it worked. Anyhow, let's see, how we doing on battery? I can't really tell. So we've been burning up 20 minutes already. But I thought I'd put this up here. You probably can't even see me, because I'm a horrible shot with the camera. Because I have a camera that's, well, doesn't have a lot of available frame space, I guess. So here we go again. Let's try this. Break it down to a couple of 50-foot hanks. Where's the end at? Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll give away a couple of hanks to somebody. Or individuals. Let's see. And this is, by the way, military grade paracord. So, and it is 550, I can tell. Okay, boom, there's 50. Alright, so now we're getting some... Yes, this is a Swiss Army knife. What's left of it. I tried to go get a new one, but they're like 30 bucks. And I thought that was cheating. I thought you were supposed to earn these, like they give them to you as a gift of honor. You can go buy them if you want to, but I always end up, mine always give up, people always give me stuff for, like, you know, being a cool guy. So that's the way I prefer to get mine. It's like, well, what do you want? And I was like, well, how about get me a knife? I don't even like using money. Well, That's not really money, that's paper. Okay, so far we have 150 foot of paracord and 3 50-foot hanks. Now that's pretty cool, you know, for being in the dumpster. And we still have to make a run to town tonight and go look in the dumpster, because the Army Depot dumpster is the bomb. The gear might be banged up, and what they do here is, just to make you mad and piss you off, they damage the stuff. You've already paid for it. You won't buy it. They're mad at you because you're digging it out of their dumpster because, well, it's slightly damaged. Most of the time it just needs to be sewed up. You know, if you have a basic sewing on or needle, you know, some decent, you know, upholstery twine or something. I use, you know, that's what I use with my sewing on, and I also use a product called Goop, which actually I just use to glue it together. I let it set up and then I sew it on top of it while it's still kind of wet. So it gives me kind of a, you know, a good barrier and a waterproof seam. So that's kind of what I want, especially if you're using waterproof material. Now we got this other problem. Now I figured out why they didn't want to unravel all this, because they're just a bunch of lazy people. And then they're wondering why they're broke. But yeah, the whole thing I was all mad about is we paid for all this stuff. You know, our family make this gear, and then when you go down there to try to get it, because they're throwing it away, you know what they do? They rip it up, they tear it up, they cut it up. And I think that's actually illegal. I think it's wrong. You know, they're going to charge you for it. You paid for it. Why don't they just give it to you? That's what I can't understand. They're not getting it. They're getting all the benefits. They get everything for free. While all of a sudden now, like, hell, most of those guys I talked to didn't do crap when they were over there and stationed in Japan or something. You know, some kind of weird little area that nothing's going on. You know, they didn't do nothing, so I don't understand why they want all these benefits when they didn't even do it. They didn't make the material. They don't make the backpacks. They don't make the boots. They don't make none of that gear. You know, they just stand around and try to look pretty and hoorah this and hoorah that. You know, I mean, then they come back and they want to stand in line and bitch. To me, it's starting to look like a welfare line. I got family that are military. I respect the institution, but I don't understand the whole fact of it's starting to look like the world's largest welfare line. Because those guys didn't have it together when they left. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to get offended and threaten my life, and I'm just going to tell them, yeah, come on with it. Take a number, because you are. Your number what? Everything's numbered. Alright, so here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Fix to get 4 hanks of this, 50 foot. I said I was going to do. And then I guess what I'm going to start doing is going back and learning some of my knots again, because I'm out of practice because, well, I don't have any cordage. You know, you can't practice something if you don't have the actual material, and cattail cordage doesn't really work well. This seems to be, you know, pretty good cordage, but for sewing, I haven't really. Now for other stuff, it's pretty handy. I just haven't found it, the all multi-purpose cordage that I can use yet. So, but the first thing was first when I actually got out here and started being in the dirt most of the time was, this stuff comes in handy, but it's not, you know, I can't really do anything with it other than ridge lines and belts and stuff, and that's okay. But when you're trying to stitch stuff together, I just prefer, I go to the thrift stores and I always try to pick up upholstery tufting line or something, and that works well for me. So you just got to figure out what works well for you. You know, I can help you out a little bit, but I'm not the smartest tool in the bunch, if you haven't found out yet. I used to be, until I got dropped on my head as a baby. Let's see. So, we're going to pull most of this off here. I think this one I'm going to make a 100-footer. Why would you need a 100-foot of paracord? Probably for a project of some sort, maybe a couple of belts. I know you need, for a belt, you probably need 32 feet. Because you're going to double it up and then you're going to weave it. I don't know, maybe 16 if you're a small person, but I doubt it. Or if you're going to do some straps for a bag or, you know, leashing or maybe an emergency type situation. You have to make some kind of a carrying vest but I just thought it was really a horrible thing for them to throw all this away, you know, and instead of at least, they could have just gave it away as, you know, gifts to people, or especially some of the guys around here, you know, they're still, you know, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life, and some of this stuff could come in handy, you know. The only thing I've used it so far is ridge lines and hanging my clothes out. Oh yeah, I guess I need to measure this off. See, here's some cordage I made out of cattails, but you need a lot of it. Like I said, I would just triple this up and just use it as, like, you know, probably I'm losing the count here. What's going on? Yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. You know, I guess that's what I'll do. I'll have a little giveaway or something. You know, when you want some paracord, holler at me. I'll send you a 50-foot hang. And yes, I'll double measure it before I send it to you, for all you people who are really, really retentive. About gotta have 50-foot exact. I guess if you're making a project or something. So yeah, if you wanna, if you want a free hank of paracord, holler at me. Just let's see. What shall we do? I don't think we should have a contest. I think it's like first come, first served. You asked, I sent it. And then you can post your video footage when you get it. Yeah, that'll work. So all you people who are friends with the Roaming Gnome, Glenn Munro and all that, I don't think I actually have any subscribers or followers, but, you know, I'm pretty sure somebody out there wants a paracord. You don't have to follow me, subscribe, worship, whatever you want to call it. If you live near me, I can send this to you. I don't know how much the shipping weight is. I'm not a rich man, so don't break the bank. I'll just lay all this out, and then we'll dress it up appropriately as a hank. And I ain't talking about that country singer guy. What's his name again? Oh yeah, like my lighter's got a bass on it. I found it today while I was riding around. They said this is how you're supposed to do the ends, but I don't know, man. It's not my favorite way to do it. Ow! Anyway, so far we got 4 50-foot hanks out of here. Out of what's in the trash, and that's $9 a piece. 9, 10, 9, 18, 27, 36. There's $40 in quarters there. Man, somebody just threw it away. But anyway, like I said, all I wanted to do was take some of this black cordage and fix up my compass a little bit. I got some paste beads and stuff in. I wanted to use this right here. I wanted to use military grade stuff, but I'm not really happy with the way the compass has the lanyard hole on here. Might actually put one here, or maybe back here or something. Hopefully it doesn't screw it up too bad, so I can hang it around my neck. But I also have the ability to count off my distance with the paste beads. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Most of the time I try to do modifications to stuff. It usually works, but plastic's not my forte. But anyhow, like I said, I thought I'd do a little video footage of things that I find in the dumpster that military people throw away. And I also have several Marine Corps assault packs. I got several Alice packs, the new ones, the mole, I guess they call them mollies. And then I got an older molly. I don't have all the parts, but I do have the basic bags and stuff, and I'd like to probably trade or, you know, do some negotiating with those. Most of the time I just trade for whatever I need, or, you know, hey, if you want to send me a couple bones, that's cool. If I meet you somewhere, I can drop them off. I'm trying to do, preferably with local folks, but I don't think I can do long-term shipping anymore. So if you live locally here and you want one of these, or you're interested in one, I'll put some footage of these packs and stuff I get all the time. We can trade, or, you know, I can just give you one if you're really, really suffering and struggling and you're trying to get your act together. I like the Marine one, actually. And I use the U.S. Army duffel bag. I think those two work well for me, for what I do. So the basic bag is just throw it in there. And hopefully it's one of the good ones that are waterproof. And that works for me, especially when you're in a hurry. Just throw that crap in there and put it on your back and go. I don't think you need a bunch of, you know, packs with zippers and stuff. I don't know, man. It just seems like it just breaks the rule of simplicity. So I like the U.S. Army duffel bags the best, actually. Yeah, I know it doesn't have a metal rack and you can't carry a bunch of crap in it. I just throw what I need in there and I go. Especially if you like I do salvage, you know, and you know, drive around different locations and, you know, populated areas, and people throw away things in bulk, especially like Army gear. I just throw it in the bag and find a bunch of guys that need some clothes and hand that stuff out, because, you know, you're just going to throw it away, and I got to pay extra for the landfill. So, you know. Okay, so we're getting close to almost having this out, but as you can see, so far, there's one hank out of there, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 200 foot of paracord for free out of the dumpster from behind the Army Depot place. And they're not really an Army Depot. What they are is, you know, a bunch of guys just, I guess, getting all this bulk gear and probably auctioning it off on. They probably have military connections, but them guys up there, man, to me, they act like a bunch of slobs, dude. They don't act like, you know, anybody I've ever met that was in the military, like the Navy, the Marines, U.S. United States Army people. Anybody that had their act together, they don't act like them guys. So I'm even wondering if they're even legit. Probably just a bunch of posers. You know, just a bunch of posers trying to use whatever little action they seen or got into. Just the same reason why they probably joined. So they can get paid. You don't join the military to get paid. You'd supposed to already had a job before you left. That's the whole point. Alright, so we're getting somewhere. See, I had a job before I left. I had family I worked with. We farmed. I had skills. You know, I did woodworking, upholstery. We built houses, farming, name it, plumbing, electrical. We had medical services, ministry. I wasn't hurting for a job. Everybody else that I've seen going to the military was all like, whoa, I gotta have a way to pay for college. You don't go and kill people and start problems because you can't pay your bills. That's ridiculous. That's just bullshit. To me, that sounds like armed robbery. Alright, so now we're getting somewhere here. We're getting back at the bottom of the spool. I think this is the one I want to do, the 100 foot. But I'll keep a couple of these hanks back. I don't know if I should just keep it for myself, but like I said, if one of you guys out there need one, just holler if I still have it. If I don't have it, I'll let you know. I mean, I'm not going to offer something but try to be pretty much close enough where I can hand it to you. You know, I can't send this to Timbuktu. hardly use any kind of currency now as it is. I mean, I made 100 this week. And that was only because I found a bunch of copper laying on the side of the road, which I didn't get paid for correctly by, because the average price of that's $2.50 a pound, but they're only giving us here about $1.10. And I think that's, well, there we go again with that, wrong. Alright, so here we go with the SpaghettiOs. People go, why are you so patient with this stuff? And I was like, well, I used to have a lot of cordage. Guitar chords. I don't know, I'm just the guy that likes to, you know, fix things that are screwed up. Okay, so we're getting there. You can see we're getting there. I mean, the spool's getting down to something manageable. Alright, so I think everybody should kind of do something like this. You know, it's like, hey, you're working your way up. You don't have currency. Use your brain, and we call that improvisation. Improvise. Improvise. You know, use your mind. It's like, okay, people throw stuff away. They don't want it. They want to trade, or they do make it. I have a couple bucks. But, you know, as you want to learn the area, you want to survey, you want to network, and you want to travel around a little bit. I think just sitting at home and ordering this stuff online is just, I don't know, man. You're cheating yourself by actually getting out and, you know, you want to know the area, then you need to get out and survey it. You know, you want to meet people, do stuff. I hate sitting at home. I'm not a home person. I had to do it for a while because I wasn't feeling well. But if I am at the house, I'm doing something. I'm not sitting there playing video games. I hate video games. I hate them. I hate them. They don't do anything productive. I don't feel like I did anything. So, got nothing out of video games. Yes, I had Atari and a Nintendo. Boring. Shit's boring. Alright, so how many feet now we got? Okay, so we got a bunch of cordage going on. I want 100 foot out of this one, but I don't think it's going to happen. Because we still have all this, and that's going to take some time. I don't have a lot of that. So I think we'll do another 50-foot hank. Okay, so here we go. Remember? 1. Okay, here we go. There's another 50-foot hank right there. Yes, that was a guesstimate. I think I got accurate on that. Why isn't he using his knife? Because I like my Swiss Army knife demonstration. Because I don't want to get my knife out. You want to see me with a big knife? Little dude with a big knife? Ow. Okay. Then, of course, we have this to contend with. I don't really, like I said, have a lot of uses for this stuff yet. Except for the basic one, like cover. Which is a pretty good use, really. I mean, cover. Yeah, there you go. As long as you got something over helping you defend yourself from, you know, hostile environment. People keep saying, like, you know, making your own environment or a microclimate, and I'm like, why don't you live somewhere where they can, you know, fit in? Why does everybody want to live places where they can't actually live naturally? Shit, it's cold. Go somewhere warm. You don't have to stay in Michigan during 30 below zero. I don't want to do that. I'd never do that. I'd leave. Like, I'm going south for the winter. Okay, here we go. So, that's another 50-foot hank of cordage there. Now, you see we got left. Just don't lose your count, don't lose your place. Remember, we was at 13, 14. Oh yeah, here we go with that again. Woo, spaghetti incident. Well, stuck at 25, so give me a minute.